Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Those that followed my coverage on little Thomas Valva remember the horrific case that it was. And if you didn't follow the case, I do highly recommend checking out my playlist. And both Tommy's father and step monster, yes, I said step monster, are in jail for the brutal murder of this sweet boy, as well as also for mistreating his brother, who thankfully survived. But this little sweet child, he died because of his father. It was abuse. They wouldn't feed them, not let them use the toilet. Many horribly abusive things happened in this Center Moriches home. So that brings me to the update here. The home where Tommy died, well, they're having a lot of trouble selling the home. I have to tell you, I completely understand it, because who would want to live in a home where a sweet 8-year-old child was basically murdered? Now, there are some people that do buy these quote-unquote murder homes, and I'll go through that. I did do a bit of research on that. Of course, a couple of them already came to mind before that. But again, for those less familiar with the case here, that's little Tommy on the left. That's his awful father, Michael Valva. And that is his step monster. Well, that was really his fiance, his father's fiance, but she was the step monster. So this is from the Long Island Press. It's basically only being covered in New York news. Newsday has it, Long Island Press, and a few other outlets. The home on Bittersweet Lane in Center Moriches, where 8-year-old Thomas Valva froze to death in 2020, failed to sell at a Town of Brookhaven auction this morning. Now, this was actually posted, I believe it was just the other day. Let's get the correct date. So September 20th. So it failed to sell last week. Bidding began at 10 a.m. at Brookhaven Town Hall, only there were no bidders. Thomas Valva died when Angela Polina, 45, and his father, Michael Valva, 43, a former New York City police officer, that's correct, he was a New York cop, left Thomas and his brother to sleep overnight in an unheated garage at their Center Moriches home when temperatures dropped to just 19 degrees. Suffolk County police officers responded to Valva and his fiance's Bittersweet Lane home at 9:40 a.m. on January 17, 2020, when the father initially told responding officers that the boy was unconscious after hitting his head while walking to the school bus on his way to school. It was complete crap. Valva was taken to Long Island Community Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. His body temperature at the time he was at the hospital was 76 degrees. He also had injuries that did not appear to be from a fall. Valva and Polina are both serving 25 years to life in prison after being convicted of Thomas's murder. With the auction's failure, the house is now owned by M&T Bank. Yeah. Gotta say, I don't feel sorry that it's not selling, but I don't know what they're going to do with it. I think that they may have to potentially demolish it and build again, but it may just take some time to sell this home because, like I said, I did a little bit of research on, they call them murder homes, where someone has been murdered, someone has died, suicide, those sorts of things. The so-called master of disaster, Dr. Randall Bell, who was consulted on the sale of the California home where O.J. Simpson's wife, Nicole Brown, was stabbed, says it usually takes around 7 years for a home to recover from the stigma. but some never do recover. So it could take years for this home to have a potential buyer. And I did read that a recent new neighbor moved in, I believe, next door to the home, one of the sides, and she said that it's haunting just to look at that house when she knows what happened there. So, and she's just a neighbor. Chris Watts' home sold in 2022. It was on and off the market for years since the 2018 murders. The house finally went for $600K, well above the $400K the couple paid in 2013 when they became its first owners. So that one I think is a little rare, but I don't know, for some reason that one went, in all honesty, that one went pretty fast. Now we have the home of John Benet Ramsey in Boulder, Colorado. That one was sold to a group of investors for $650,000 back in 1998 before being snapped up for $1 million by Tim and Carol Milner in 2004. It has since been on and off the market at least 5 times. And again, these are all beautiful homes. They just had something horrific happen. And I think that, as far as these two cases, obviously John Benet's murder is completely different than Tommy's, but I think it's involving a child is a big deal. It's a big, thing happening in there. And I think with the Chris Watts case, maybe because they were not found in the home. I don't know, but it's hard. I guess it's hard to say, even for these quote unquote experts. And lastly, the former home of Austin Sigg, where 10-year-old Jessica Ridgway was tragically murdered in October of 2012. The case was big news in Colorado back in 2012, with an Amber Alert being issued for the disappearance of 10-year-old Jessica Ridgway after she failed to return home from school on October 5th. 2 days later, her backpack and glasses were found on a sidewalk, and a few days after that, her remains were found nearby. Later that month, 17-year-old Austin Sigg confessed to killing Ridgway in his home after his mother phoned police, leading them to him. That particular home has sold several times, the last time being in 2015. So it does seem to be a little bit of a variety on how that goes, but apparently it's a big market for these homes. But as far as in Tommy's case, I don't know. I mean, it's a beautiful home, but who really wants to live in a home where boys were, where one froze to death and the other one almost died as well, and they were also horribly abused? I mean, I don't think I'd want to live there, even if it was handed to me for free. But let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments. Again, if you haven't checked out Tommy's case, I do highly recommend it. It was mostly covered in New York and surrounding areas, but it did get some national coverage once his father and Angela Polina were convicted. So check out the videos if the case interests you. I will leave the link to the playlist in the information of this video. Alright, I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. I'll have more stuff coming up this week. My little guy, my little parakeet, he's had some health issues, so we'll see if I can get something out tomorrow or not. If not, I will definitely probably have something out on Tuesday. Alright, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.